Just want to talk to you a little bit about this special offering that I'm doing in Canngu, Bali this December. 2.5-week teacher intensive. It's like a semi-private, so limited to 15 students. So I'll be able to work with each of you that sign up for it very close one-to-one and offer you guidance on your teaching path. And so there's 4 themes that I'm focusing on in this. I'm calling it tradition and technology, healing, and purpose. The tradition part is Ashtanga and Hatha Yoga. Ashtanga is a type of Hatha Yoga, and so there's a tradition in both of those categories. That's where my teaching is coming from, and that's where I will help you to be grounded in more, or learn more about, or go further in. So it's drawing on the past, and that includes the distant past and the more recent past. But then also in that idea of tradition is the today and now, and kind of the evolution of practice and the different explorations and researches and innovations that are necessary as part of a tradition. Okay, and then the technology part is you can say that's the real bones of it, the real center of the matrix, right? Because we'll be focusing on asana, pranayama, the breathing, and mudras. So these different aspects that make up the daily practice, and really going into detail about how to help a student build an asana practice and build in all the components of the technology into that asana practice. So that will include the vision or the objective or goal of each posture and transition, including like alignment principles, steps, so modifying and using props or different variations of the poses and transitions to make them accessible to all different people and their different circumstances, all the limiting factors being accounted for, like age and experience and genetic endowment, injury or time constraints. So we're going to address all of that and look into the technology as kind of big chunk of what's going to happen each day in the sessions. So, and you'll come out of it with a much more firm grasp of the technology and a much more clear method for how to present the practice to your students. Number 3 is healing. To me, as a teacher, it's very, very natural and essential to build in this space for healing in the practice. And that's partly why we've taken to the tradition, but why we're also keep opening up the tradition and exploring and responding to people's suffering or people's obstacles. It's an interesting perspective to come from, that it's not all about like getting strong or flexible or doing poses well. There's a part where we encounter our pain and our suffering and use the technology to meet it skillfully, lovingly, and transformatively. And then also within the healing aspect is that there's a certain encountering of our lower self, our lower mind, yoga brings, and that we want to embrace, looking at our ego and our desires and our anger and kind of making room for the shadow to be seen and worked with in the practice, and thereby healing from it. And then as part of the healing as well, there's a discovering sort of joyousness and learning just to be happy and to accent the positive in us and bring that out. Okay, and then finally, the last aspect is this idea of purpose or dharma. I feel that everyone is here for some purpose, that we have sacred work to do in the world. There's somewhere inside you is the kind of pith, is like, what's the deepest reason that you're here on this planet, and what do you want to do with your time here on earth? And if you're doing teacher training, then that teacher, the yoga teacher path is at least part of your journey, right? And for some, it's like, that is the Dharma I want to follow. And then some, it's a Dharma that sort of leads you into Dharma, something more different or more specific. And in any case, this training will just be making space for defining of purpose and strategizing how to bring that purpose into the center of your life and manifest your dreams. Okay? So we've got tradition, technology, healing, and purpose. And that's what we'll be focusing on in this intensive. Remember, it's a small group, so there'll be a lot of good connection, bonding between the participants. I will offer you individualized guidance. So really excited for it, and hope that gives you a better idea of, or gives you an idea of what it's about. And then if you have any questions or anything, you can email me and I will give you further information.